Hello, this is Terry from the Frugal Connection. Today I want to show you how to make oat pancakes with just a few simple ingredients. They are gluten-free, so if you have a gluten allergy or a gluten intolerance, you can make these. This is not my recipe. I actually found this recipe online with Dr. Esser from Esser Health. I did add a couple of things that he does not add in his, so I guess, you know, I made it my own. Anyway, you're supposed to start with 3 bananas, but my bananas are fairly large today, so I'm going to just use 2. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in a high-speed blender, which I have right here. And I'm gonna just throw these in. And this is the nice thing about this recipe is you can do it all in one blender. You don't need a whole lot of extra steps or extra bowls or whatever. I have some here because I did it for the video purposes, but you don't need that. So in my blender, I have 2 large bananas. If you are using regular size, like medium sized bananas, you're gonna use 3 bananas. I have 6 pitted Medjool dates, which provide sweetness. I'm throwing those in. I am throwing in, I have 3 cups of rolled oats, which I'm going to add to this. I just had a terrible sinking sensation that it was supposed to be less oats, but no, it's 3 oats. But I'm going to check. I was right. It was 3 oats. You're also supposed to add 3 cups of water. Now, I had about 1.5 cups of the oat milk I made the other day left, and it was getting time to use it in something or toss it, and I don't want to waste anything. So I just added water to this to equal 3 cups of liquid. So I'm going to pour this in my blender as well. I'm also going to add in 3 tablespoons of flax meal. This is milled flax seeds. And you know, you really need the omega-3s that you get in flax, chia, sesame seeds will give you that as well. But the problem with the whole seed is you're not really digesting it. It's just going in one end and out the other. So if you could do the flax meal, you're gonna get the value of the seeds that way. So into this mixer, I'm gonna also add 3 tablespoons of flax meal. And now I'm adding 2 additional ingredients. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon because I love cinnamon and it's good for you. And I'm also going to add a teaspoon of homemade vanilla extract. I'm gonna pour that in too. Okay, that's it. And basically what you do is, I gotta find my lid, you put your lid on, make sure it's secure, and I'm gonna just blend this up until it's smooth and pancake consistency like. Now, if you've made pancakes before, you kind of get the consistency of it. So you might find that you need to add a little bit more liquid if it's not thin enough for your taste. If it gets too thin, you can also add a teaspoon of baking powder, which will help kind of plump it up, or add in another 1/4 cup of oats. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this. I'm gonna shut my camera off just while I do that so it doesn't make too much noise. Okay, I finished blending it, and this is what you're left with. This is what it looks like. And as you can see, it's nice and bubbly, and it did that without any eggs. It does it without any leavening agent. Really, if an egg replacer is flaxseed and water. So the flaxseed actually is the leavening agent. And so it'll bubble up nice and just like normal pancake batter. And over here I have a very, it's been heating up for a little bit. It's my non-stick skillet. And I'm going to then turn this camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm gonna pour this just like you would any other pancake batter. I'm just gonna make little ones. And these pancakes end up being about, a serving size is generally, I do 4 or 5 pancakes, and it ends up being about 150 calories. Because this isn't sweet, because it doesn't have any eggs in it, I tasted it. You can taste it raw, and it was plenty sweet with just the 2 bananas and with the dates in it. So now we let it do its thing. And this is the key here, because you're not using oil on here. You're not using anything to prevent sticking, is to have a good nonstick pan, but to leave it alone until it releases from the pan. You will see the bubbles come up on it, and you'll know when it's time, because if you mess with it ahead of time, you're gonna just end up with a hot mess. I did that. I get impatient. I think, oh no, it's gonna burn. I gotta get it going. I have to turn it faster. And when I do that, the first batch ends up being thrown in the garbage because it's just a mushy mess. So we let it go, let it do its thing. I'll come back when it's time to flip. Okay, it's getting to be that time. I'm gonna take this first one here and just put my spatula under it, flip it, and as you can see, it's nice and brown. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I find my pans are weird because after a little bit, they start turning brown so quick. So you have to keep regulating with the heat. And I'm thinking that it might have something to do with the type of pan I have, or it could just be I have an electric stove. So once it gets to the certain heat it's going to be, it's hard to regulate it. But I've had that problem even when I was cooking on a gas stove, so it might just be me. Anyway, so these are gonna go for another couple minutes. These are not ready to turn yet, so I'm gonna just let them go for another minute or two, and these will be about the same amount on this side. So I'll show you the finished product when it's done. I wanted to come back and mention one more thing about the pancakes. Often I will do batch cooking, which means I'm not in the mood to make a big breakfast in the morning or to sit here and mess with pancakes, especially because I'm doing the smaller ones. It takes a while. This recipe makes anywhere from 20 to 25 3 to 4 inch pancakes. But I don't always want to do that in the morning. I'm just not a wake up and want to cook first thing type person. So what I'll do is I'll make a batch of these at some point during the day, and I will store them in a Ziploc freezer bag or just a Ziploc gallon bag, and either keep them in my refrigerator or keep them in the freezer, and then I just pull out what I want to eat, and I will put them in the microwave for like 30 seconds and test them. I might have to turn them over at that point and do just a couple seconds more, and then they're ready for me when I'm ready to go. And so that's kind of what I do. But this particular recipe does make a lot, and so you only have to cook once, and then you'll have them for quite a few days if you want to do it that way. So I just wanted to come back on here and share that with you as well. Okay, there you have it. You can see the pancakes, and again, the trick with these is to make sure your pan is hot when you're pouring the batter on, and then just to leave them alone. They will bubble just like normal pancake batter does with little holes in it, and when you start seeing that, then you know they're getting close to being ready. These are a little denser than if you're using all-purpose flour, but they are gluten-free. They are delicious. You can see that in there. So they turn out really nice with just oats, dates, bananas, water. That's really all the original recipe called for. I did the addition of cinnamon and flax meal. I did the addition of cinnamon and vanilla. You don't need to do that if you don't want to, but I just find it gives it a nicer flavor. And that's it. And I find with these, like when I was eating the way I used to eat, like all the standard American diet, and I would eat, maybe my serving size was 3 pancakes. I know some people eat more than that, but I would eat 3 pancakes. I couldn't eat that in the morning because about an hour later, I was shaking. It would just spike into my bloodstream really quickly. It would drive up my blood sugar. I just couldn't eat it. These, though, I've had 3 or 4. They're mini. They're about this big around. They're not like the big, large pancakes. You can make them as big or as small as you want, but I do the more of the little sized ones. And if I eat 3 or 4 of those, and I might drizzle a teaspoon of maple syrup on it, but sometimes I'm just eating them plain because they're sweet. But the difference is it doesn't do that to my blood sugar. I can go all the way to lunchtime and I feel satisfied. I don't feel hungry. I'm not shaking like I was. So it's a great option. And so I just wanted to share that with you today, just so that you can see some of the ways that I eat. And I want to encourage you to make some positive changes in your health. And you really will be very happy if you do. And really, there's a lot that we cook that if we just make small tweaks to it, no oil, none of the fatty things that we normally eat, that we can still have some of our favorites like pancakes, but they are much better for our health. They will make you not make you feel full and heavy and sick sometimes. So I hope you found this helpful. So there you have it. This recipe actually ended up making 26 pancakes. The amount will probably vary depending on the size of the bananas that you use. But anyway, I just wanted to give you an update about that, and I hope you try them. They actually are very tasty. I found that they're very filling and satisfying without spiking my blood sugar. Now, I do want to try one more experiment here because a friend asked me if I could fry an egg without using oil or butter. I wasn't sure because I'm not eating eggs, but I will sacrifice an egg that I have in my refrigerator to try this experiment just for you, Tammy. So here we go. My pan is nice and hot because I just finished doing all the pancakes on there. And I think that's going to be the key, even with the eggs, is make sure it's hot enough. And I'm going to crack it. And here we go. Okay, so it's sitting there doing its thing. And let's see what happens. I'm going to have to turn it up just a little bit. I had turned it down low a little bit because the pancakes were starting to get a little too brown. So far, we're doing good. It's cooking. And I'm going to resist the temptation to try to flip it before I need to. And that is always my temptation, even when, when I was making the pancakes, or even before I did the oil-free thing and I was making regular pancakes, I would always flip them too soon, and they would be, the first few batches would be pale and not so appetizing looking. But anyway, okay, so this is starting to get little bubbles on the edges. Now I'm not sure it's gonna work because there might be the protein in eggs may make it stick, and I have scrambled things this way, and I know that has worked, but I've had to constantly be moving the pan. One of the recipes in my book, Simple and Nutritious, is a recipe for moong dal scramble. And moong dal is a yellow split gram bean that you soak overnight, and then you blend it up with water in your blender, and then you can add whatever you're going to add to it, and you can fry it in the pan. And as long as you keep moving, keep scrambling it with a spoon or with a spatula, it will resemble scrambled eggs. Doesn't taste like scrambled eggs, but I like it. I think it's good. And let's see what's going on here with my egg. All right, it is sticking. Okay. Not so much, but I don't know if the pan was way too hot because I've been making the pancakes on it, because it kind of gave it a weird, I don't even know what you call that. Crust. I don't know that you want crusty eggs. So Tammy, you can try it at home. I'm not positive it'll work for you, but I gave it a shot. So anyway, I hope you're all having a great day, enjoying the beautiful sunshine that's here. We're in Western New York and the sun decided to come out for a little bit today, so I'm enjoying that. And then hopefully it'll stay out because we go back and forth here in the Northeast with cold, rain, dreary skies. So when the sun is out, I like to get out and enjoy it. Anyway, if you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. It does help the YouTube analytics. If people will like my videos, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to check out more about healthy eating, being frugal at the same time, you can check out my website at thefrugalconnection.com. I hope you have a great day. Bye.